The Running Dream by Wendelin Van Draanen, a first chapter Friday read aloud with the Word Nerd. Today, as you listen, watch for the story quote that will appear on screen. Write it down word by word and then follow the instructions given to you by your teacher. Hi, my name's Amanda Zieba. Welcome to my channel, Learning with the Word Nerd, and another First Chapter Friday video. This week, I'm going to be reading to you from one of my favorite books of all time by one of my favorite authors ever. We're going to be reading The Running Dream by Wendelin Van Draanen. Now, this name might sound familiar to you because last year on this channel, I read to you from Wild Bird, another fantastic book by Wendelin Van Draanen, and then we got to talk to her in a really great interview. So if you haven't listened to that one yet, make sure you definitely go and do that. This is the first book that I read by Wendelin Van Draanen. It's a book that made me fall in love with her as an author and her stories. And if you've never read anything by her, I hope that it's going to be that same experience for you. I'll read you the back of the book so you know what it's about, and then we will dive in. I'm a runner. That's what I do. That's who I am. And now I'm stuck in this bed knowing I'll never run again. Running is the thing that makes Jessica feel most alive. So when she loses a leg in a tragic accident, she's shattered, inside and out. The doctors say she'll walk again, with a prosthetic limb, but to Jessica, that's cold comfort. Walking isn't running, and at this point, just standing up causes her to shake. As she struggles to re-enter her life, Jessica gets to know Rosa, a girl with cerebral palsy, and begins to see that her future is full of opportunities. Soon, Jessica starts to wonder, is it possible to cross new finish lines? The Running Dream is an inspiring story about Jessica's fight to reclaim what she's lost and the distance she'll go to take Rosa with her. Now, as a teen, I could totally relate to Jessica in this story because growing up, gymnastics wasn't something I did. It's really who I was. Like, Jessica is a runner. I was a gymnast. And so trying to wrap my head around having that thing being taken away from me and what that would mean for me and my value and my identity, it's just like some really great questions for readers to ask themselves as they are going through this story. And just it's such a good story. One interesting thing about this book is the chapters are super short. Like sometimes just a page. Like here, if we look at chapter 2, like that's it. Just that one little snippet. So I'm gonna read to you more than one chapter. I'm probably gonna actually read you like 6 because it's only like 8 pages. But hopefully it will be enough to hook you and you will want to continue reading this great book. Chapter 1. My life is over. Behind the morphine dreams is the nightmare of reality, a reality I can't face. I cry myself back to sleep, wishing, pleading, praying that I'll wake up from this, but the same nightmare always awaits me. Shh, my mother whispers, it'll be okay. But her eyes are swollen and red, and I know she doesn't believe what she's saying. My father? Now that's a different story. He doesn't even try to lie to me. What's the use? He knows what this means. My hopes, my dreams, my life, it's over. The only one who seems unfazed is Dr. Wells. Hello there, Jessica, he says. I don't know if it's day or night, the second day or the first. How are you feeling? I just stare at him. What am I supposed to say? Fine. He inspects my chart. So let's have a look, shall we? He pulls the covers off my lap and I find myself face to face with the truth. My right leg has no foot, no ankle, no shin. It's just my thigh, my knee, and a stump wrapped in a mountain of gauze. My eyes flood with tears as Dr. Wells removes the bandages and inspects his handiwork. I turn away only to see my mother fighting back tears of her own. It'll be okay, she tells me, holding tight to my hand. We'll get through this. Dr. Wells is maddeningly cheerful. This looks excellent, Jessica. Nice vascular flow, good color. You're already healing beautifully. I glance at the monstrosity below my knee. It is red and bulging at the end. Fat staples run around my stump like an ugly zipper, and the skin is stained dirty yellow. How's the pain, he asks. Are you managing okay? I wipe away my tears and nod because the pain in my leg is nothing compared to the one in my heart. None of the meds will make that one go away. He goes on cheerfully. I'll order a shrinker sock to control the swelling. Your residual limb will be very tender for a while, and applying the shrinker sock may be uncomfortable at first, but it's important to get you into one. Reducing the swelling and shaping your limb is the first step in your rehabilitation. A nurse appears to rebandage me as he makes notes in my chart and said, "A prostheticist will be in later to apply it today." Tears continue to run down my face. I don't seem to have the strength to hold them back. Dr. Wells softens. "The surgery went beautifully, Jessica." He says this like he's trying to soothe away reality. And considering everything, you're actually very lucky. You're alive, and you still have your knee, which makes a huge difference in your future mobility. BK amputees have it much easier than AK amputees. "BK? AK?" my mom asks. "I'm sorry," he says, turning to my mother. "Below knee, above knee. In the world of prosthetic legs, it's a critical difference." He prepares to leave. There will obviously be an adjustment period, but Jessica is young and fit, and I have full confidence that she will return to a completely normal life. My mother nods, but she seems dazed, like she's wishing my father was there to help her absorb what's being said. Dr. Wells flashes a final smile at me. "Focus on the positive, Jessica. We'll have you up and walking again in short order." This, from the man who sawed off my leg. He whooshes from the room, leaving a dark, heavy cloud of the unspoken behind. My mother smiles and coos reassuringly, but she knows what I'm thinking. What does it matter? I'll never run again. Chapter 2. I am a runner. That's what I do. That's who I am. Running is all I know or want or care about. It was a race around the soccer field in 3rd grade that swept me into a real love of running. Breathing the sweet smell of spring grass, sailing over dots of blooming clover, beating all the boys. After that, I couldn't stop. I ran everywhere, raced everyone. I loved the wind across my cheeks through my hair. Running aired out my soul. It made me feel alive. And now, I'm stuck in this bed, knowing I will never run again. Chapter 3. The prostheticist is stocky and bald, and he tells me to call him Hank. He tries to talk to me about a fake leg, but I make him stop. I just can't listen to this. He gets the nurse to put a new bandage on my leg, one that's thinner, with less gauze. I'm cold. The room's cold. Everything feels cold. I want to cover up, but Hank is getting ready to put on the shrinker sock. It's like a long, toeless tube sock. He pulls it through a short length of the wide PVC pipe and then folds the top part of the sock back over the pipe. I don't understand what he's going to do with it, and I don't care. Until he slips the pipe over my stump. "Oh!" I gasp as pressure and pain shoot up my leg. "I'm sorry," Hank says, transferring the sock from the pipe to my leg as he pulls the pipe off. "We're almost done." Half the tube sock is now dangling from my stump. Hank slides a small ring up the dangling egg and then stretches out the rest of the sock and doubles it up over the ring over my stump. There's pressure. Throbbing. But Hank assures me it'll feel better soon. The area is swollen, he tells me, pooling with blood. The shrinker sock will help reduce the swelling and speed your recovery. Once the wound is healed and the volume of your leg is reduced, we can fit you with the proper prosthesis. How long will that take? My mother asks. Her voice starts out shaky, but she tries to steady it. Hank whips out a soft tape measure and circles the end of my stump. It's hard to say. His mind seems to wander, so my mom asks, "Well, in a typical situation?" He takes a deep breath. Typical is a person in poor health, someone with circulatory problems, someone who's old, overweight, and suffering from diabetes. He glances at me. A case like Jessica's will not have the same timeline. Her recovery will be much quicker. So what is their respected recovery time? My mother asks, and she's sounding testy. We usually don't fit them with preparatory prosthesis for about 6 months. 6 months? My mother gasps. But Jessica could have hers in a fraction of that time. It all depends on her healing and how soon she can tolerate it. They talk some more, but I stop listening. What does it matter how long it takes? I'll never recover. I can't see how I'll even ever adjust. Chapter 4. I close my eyes and drift off. I see the race. Vanessa Steele's in lane 5, stretching out, her long nails painted deep red, her racing glasses flashing back in the late morning sun. I remember thinking that Vanessa has been good for me. Her superior attitude, her mind games, her domination of the 400 meter. It's been good for me. Vanessa glances over her shoulder, waiting for me to get into my blocks before she gets down into hers. It's part of her game. She likes to be the last one standing. This time I don't mind. I'm through being sucked into her psych out. I feel calm, confident. Cairo has been helping me focus. He's been building me up mentally and physically, coaching me for this moment. I give Vanessa a little smile and nod for my position in lane 4. She's in red and yellow, Langston High's colors, and I'm in Liberty's blue and gold. Even my colors feel light, like the sun and sky floating above me. I'm down in the blocks now, ready to fly. Vanessa makes her final adjustments and then holds steady. The gun goes off and all runners shoot forward. It's a fury of steps, spikes against the track. They thunder all around me, but somehow sound miles away. By the first bend, we find our stride. My kick is good, strong and long. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. My arms are pumping, but they're smooth, almost relaxed. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. My breathing's open, flowing, and I barely feel my feet touching down. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Suddenly, I'm floating, flying, soaring around the track. The thunder fades behind me, and the staggered start has me at a mental advantage. I can see Vanessa, but she can only feel me behind her, moving in. At the 200-meter mark, the field has widened, all except for Vanessa and me. We've tightened. We crest at the 300, then face rigor mortis bend. Vanessa knows I'm here, on her tail. We're down to grit and guts, so I dig in. Dig deep. She does the same. We battle along the straightaway, my legs burning, aching, empty, shoulder to shoulder. I force one last push and duck over the finish line in front of her. 55 flat, Cairo shouts. 55 flat! It's a new personal best for me, a new record for the league. It's also the last race of my life. My finish line. Chapter 5. Nurses come in and out. Conversations happen around me. Whispers like a heavy fog hang on in my mind. But then there's my father's voice and Dr. Wells's. Outside my room, their words drift in through the crack in the doorway. My father asks about things he's researched online. Rigid removable dressings, speedier recoveries, eye pops. He sounds like a doctor. Dr. Wells's replies revolve around small-town practicalities, insurance allowances, and the tried-and-true methods employed by Mercy Hospital. Dad comes in and checks on me, and although he pretends to be upbeat, he's irked. He likes to fix things. Now. He checks out the stump protector that's been on over the shrinker sock. It holds my leg straight and keeps me from bumping the wound. He seems pleased with it and throws around phrases like controlling edema and preventing knee flexion contracture. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about, but he's really a self-employed handyman, and I am not something he can fix. If you want to know what happens to Jessica and the rest of her recovery, and then what happens, you're definitely going to want to check out a copy of The Running Dream. You can get a copy from your school library, or maybe purchase one from your local indie bookstore. Or if you can't find it there, you can always get a copy down in the link in the description box. I hope that you check out that interview with Wendelin because it's truly fantastic, and that you also come back here again for another First Chapter Friday video. Happy reading! To continue reading The Running Dream by Wendelin Van Draanen, check out a copy from your school library, purchase one from your local indie bookstore, or grab one via the link in the description box below. Then make sure you check out the rest of the First Chapter Friday playlist. I have tons of great middle grade and YA stories waiting for you. This week's mystery quote says, "Don't sum up a person based on what you see or what you don't understand. Get to know them." Please like this video and subscribe so you can stay connected for more great First Chapter Friday videos and other videos you can use in your classroom. Happy reading!